अस्सलाम वालेकुम डियर स्टूडेंट्स। उम्मीद है कि आप सब खैरियत से होंगे। We have learned about how our bodies are able to move around and how the different parts of our bodies coordinate to perform functions. लेकिन क्या आपने कभी सोचा है कि ये रिस्पॉन्सेज हमेशा सेम ही रहते हैं, कभी चेंज नहीं होते? And how do our bodies respond to the change in weather around us? How does our body deal with it? Well, that's exactly what we are going to be learning about today. Animals, humans and even plants, इन सब के पास different mechanisms होते हैं which allows them to maintain a constant internal environment. This mechanism helps animals and plants alike to survive the constantly changing environment. This set of regulatory mechanisms is called homeostasis. The word homeostasis is derived from the Greek language, with homeos meaning similar and stasis meaning stable. But why is this so important? Why do plants and animals need to regulate their internal environments? Well, what happens is that as the environment around us changes, it can lead to impairing various internal cellular processes. All our body functions require certain chemicals, hormones, and enzymes to occur efficiently. All our cellular functions also require some set conditions to be able to occur efficiently. So, for a smooth and proper functioning, optimal conditions are provided by the process of homeostasis that ensures survival of the cells and therefore the survival of the organism. Homeostasis regulates the internal environment by maintaining the temperature, pH balance, water concentration, sugar levels, and food intake. Students, कभी ये mechanisms fail हो सकते हैं किसी disease या डिसऑर्डर की वजह से। जब ऐसा होता है तो the cells may not get everything they need. And if homeostasis is not restored, the imbalance may lead to disease or even death. Homeostasis has four main components. These are the change, as we studied about stimulus, and we know our bodies are able to detect these changes by the help of our nervous and endocrine systems. The second component is the receptor, which is responsible for detecting this change in the external or internal environment. The control centers are present in the brain and they further send orders to the final component, which is the effectors, which are the various organs and which are responsible for counteracting the change and returning the internal and external cell environment to a balanced state. Homeostasis is brought about by all our body systems working together. Homeostasis is possible due to feedback system. It follows a very well-maintained positive and negative feedback mechanism to ensure regulation of a constant internal environment in your bodies. This means that when our homeostatic system needs to slow down or stop altogether, the negative feedback mechanism is initiated. An example of negative feedback occurs when your body's temperature begins to increase, and a negative feedback response works to counter and stop the rise in temperature. Sweating and shivering are good examples of negative feedback mechanism. Similarly, a positive feedback mechanism is initiated to amplify a body system's functioning. It occurs in a cycle and it keeps on increasing until a negative feedback is initiated which forces it to stop. An example of positive feedback is uterine contractions during childbirth. A hormone oxytocin, made by the endocrine system, stimulates the contraction of the uterus. This produces pain sensed by the nervous system. Instead of lowering the oxytocin and causing the pain to subside, more oxytocin is produced, until the contractions are powerful enough to produce childbirth. How amazing is that? अब आप ज़रा 2 मिनट के लिए रुकें. Take a deep breath and अपने आप को गौर से देखें. आप सुबह उठे हैं, आपने नाश्ता किया है, फिर आप गाड़ी में स्कूल गए. मतलब आप पूरा दिन भागते, खाते और खेलते रहे. ऐसा ही है ना? You sweat, you get red, then you get water, you go and find a shady place to sit in. And अगर गर्मियाँ होती हैं तो you go and find sunny spots to sit in. Now, all these things that you experience, sweating when feeling hot or shivering when feeling cold, are your body trying to maintain homeostasis. Why does this happen? Even if the external temperature gets extremely hot or extremely cold, our internal body temperature remains constant. That's because we are endotherms or warm-blooded animals. Our body temperature are maintained at 37 degrees Celsius and maintains a constant body temperature independent of the environment. All mammals and birds are endotherms, but there are also some species of fish that are endotherms. Endotherms produce heat by the metabolic reactions, and when it gets excessively cold, they shiver to produce heat, as you may have felt also in extreme winter. This is your muscles contracting and producing heat. Similarly, जब आपको गर्मी लगना शुरू होती है तो आपको स्वेटिंग होना शुरू हो जाती है, और उस स्वेटिंग की वजह से your skin has a cooling effect. This process of maintaining a set temperature is called thermoregulation, and our skin plays a great role in it. Cold-blooded animals, or ectotherms on the other hand, rely on their external sources for regulating the body temperatures. Hot rocks and surfaces and solar heat from the sun. These are the things which they take help from. Fishes, amphibians, reptiles, and invertebrates are all cold-blooded. Another example is the sugar levels in our bodies. Our bodies need to maintain a steady level of sugar in our bodies, and this is achieved by the production of some hormones. When the sugar levels on our blood are high, our pancreas produces a hormone called insulin that helps break down the extra sugar. And when the sugar levels are really low, another hormone called glucagon helps produce more sugar from stored products in the body, such as glycogen. Do you remember? Water makes up almost 70% of our bodies. It is the most abundant element on earth and in our bodies. Water is a nutrient, a building material, a regulator of body temperature, a participant in carbohydrate and protein metabolism, a lubricant, and a shock absorber. So, maintaining the water balance in our body is very important. And homeostasis also does that. It also maintains a correct balance of water, and it is very important as cells with less water can dehydrate and shrivel. Cells with too much water can bloat and even explode. So water balance in regard to our internal environment is vital for survival. This regulation of water balance in our bodies is called osmoregulation. Osmoregulation regulates the level of solutes in our bodies while balancing the loss and gain of water. Our bodies are constantly losing water due to sweating, urinating, and exhaling water vapors. Water is also being used in the gastrointestinal tracts. The amount of water you lose on a daily basis depends completely on your environment, external temperature, diet, and exercise. Our excretory system functions to remove waste and water from the body through the skin as sweat. The lungs in the form of exhaled carbon dioxide and water vapors, and through the urinary system in the form of urine. All three of these systems participate in osmoregulation and waste removal. Osmoregulation in our bodies occurs primarily in our kidneys. The amount of water you lose and retain is by filtration in the kidneys. Certain hormones control this absorption and retaining of water in the kidneys. This hormone is called antidiuretic hormone, which is released when your body water levels drop, signaling the kidneys to absorb more water into the body. On the other hand, if there is an overabundance of water in your body, a hormone called aldosterone is released that causes more retention of water. Respiration, urination, defecation, and all other processes in our body work towards maintain and regulating homeostasis. Our nervous, endocrine, and immune system also plays a key role in maintaining homeostasis to ensure our survival. अब हम थोड़ा plants की तरफ भी देखते हैं. We also see that plants stay green throughout the different weathers and in different climates. Have you ever wondered how are plants able to survive the constantly changing environment and temperature? That is because plants also have regulatory mechanisms that help keeps the plant hydrated by maintaining adequate absorption of nutrients and water from the soil and controlling the loss of water through the opening and closing of stomata. Homeostasis is attained by the excretory and osmoregulatory processes of the plant. Carbon dioxide levels are regulated in plants like oxygen is in animals. They have small holes on the underside of their leaves. These are called stomata, which open and close to regulate the amount of carbon dioxide taken in and oxygen released. This is homeostasis. The regulation of water in plants is highly important. The plant cells have a rigid cell wall and a central large vacuole that is responsible for giving the plant cell their shape and support. These vacuoles, when filled with the adequate amount of fluid, exert the osmotic pressure against the cell wall and prevent them from wilting. Just like water in a balloon, you can see how it retains its shape when it has the right amount of water in it. अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा पानी निकाल लेंगे तो वो छोटा सा हो जाएगा और अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा पानी डाल देंगे तो it is going to burst. The optimum water levels are also maintained in a plant by the stomata. When stomata are open wide, they dry the plant out. And when they close, they help retain water. We know that different plants grow in different climates. These plants have adapted to their environments. Plants have adapted themselves in conditions having adequate amounts of water. These are termed as mesophytes. They have adapted to dry environments with scarcity of water, and they are called xerophytes. And some plants have adapted to fresh water or aqueous habitats called hydrophytes. Plants get rid of unwanted waste materials from their bodies by excretion. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are both waste materials in plants. Oxygen and water are the waste product of photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide is the waste product of respiration. Other excretory materials are lost via leaves as they fall off. The water may also be lost by transpiration, which is the process in which water droplets evaporate from the plant stem, leaves, or flowers. Now let us go back and look at some main points of the lesson we have learned today. Number 1. Homeostasis is a property of systems that regulate themselves to a relatively stable state. Simply put, homeostasis is just balance. Number 2. Both animals and plants undergo various processes to maintain homeostasis. Number 3. All the systems work together to obtain homeostasis. Number 4. Homeostatic regulation is monitored and adjusted by the receptor, the command center, and the effector. Number 5. Stomata are the most important part in plants for maintaining homeostasis. That's all for today's lesson, guys. Take care and remember to stay curious. Let's not forget our quiz for today because we always have to check on ourselves on how much we have learned. Question number 1. The loss of water from the plant surface in the form of vapors is called option number A, transpiration, option number B, guttation, option number C, dew, option number D, condensation. The correct answer is option number A, transpiration. Question number 2. The common example of xerophytes is option number A, water lily, option number B, rose, option number C, grasses, option number D, cactus. The correct answer is option number D, cactus. Question number 3. In humans, the main organs which work in homeostasis include option number A, kidneys, option number B, lungs, option number C, skin, option number D, all of the above. The correct answer is option number D, all of the above. Question number 4. What is the approximate normal core temperature for the body? Option number A, 35 degrees Celsius. Option number B, 37 degrees Celsius. Option number C, 39 degrees Celsius. Option number D, none of the above. The correct answer is option number B, 37 degrees Celsius. Allah Hafiz children and take care of yourselves.